Miles Brewer here with your evening news on KCIM, Western Iowa's information leader, for this Monday, August 24th. Republican gubernatorial nominee Zach Lane's campaign brings him to the listening area tomorrow afternoon for a meet and greet event. After a similar event in Shelby County, Lane will head to Audubon County for a public forum. Lane will be at the Audubon Recreation Center, 703 Southside Avenue, on Tuesday, August 25th at 12:30 p.m. Lane faces Democratic gubernatorial nominee Rob Sand, who was in Audubon last Thursday for a similar event. Carroll Broadcasting will bring more details from Lane's event in upcoming newscasts. The Carroll Community School District Board of Education is set to meet tomorrow for a special board meeting. The board is convening at 11:30 a.m. to acknowledge receipt of the bond petition and will be considering a resolution that would authorize a special election regarding its long-discussed district facility plan. This election asks voters if the district can take on debt by issuing general obligation bonds. The resolution requests authorization for a bond amount not to exceed $51 million, the funds of which would be designated to build, furnish, and equip additions to the high school. The money would also be used to remodel, repair, improve, furnish, and equip both the high school and the middle school, including various site improvements. The ultimate objective behind these facility upgrades is the closure of Adams Elementary School. They have a petition signed by eligible voters numbering at least 25% of those who voted in the last school official election. And the special election is scheduled for Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026, and Carroll Broadcasting will bring more updates in future newscasts. Carroll County Sheriff Ken Pingree submitted his formal letter of resignation effective August 31st to the Carroll County Board of Supervisors at their meeting this morning. Pingree, who has served in law enforcement for nearly 4 decades, 11 of which as the county sheriff, announced his plans to retire earlier this year, but the supervisor's acceptance of his resignation makes it official. Pingree read his letter during the meeting, making note of the joy it has been to serve Carroll County.
It has been my honor and privilege to serve in county law enforcement for the past 37 years, the last 11 as Carroll County Sheriff. The trust and support shown to me and my staff during this tenure will never be forgotten or remissed.
Pingree says law enforcement often sees people at their worst, but the quality of Carroll County's residents has become clear to him during his tenure.
I've seen the best and worst in people during this time, but trust me, the good memories far outweigh the bad.
Pingree thanks his staff for making a difficult job easy, his family for their support and understanding during his career, and previous and current officials and county employees for making Carroll County a tremendous place to live and work. Pingree says he fully supports Chief Deputy John Kretzinger as his replacement, and he is confident he will step into the role seamlessly.
I am recommending to the board without reservation that Chief Deputy John Kretzinger be appointed to fill the remainder of my term. Each of you know him to be the only logical choice, and my staff would agree with this. Appointing John will ensure a seamless transition without upsetting the apple cart, so to speak. As I've been stepping back, I can see that John is more than ready and capable of fulfilling this role. Carroll County will be in good hands.
With that, the board accepted Pingree's resignation letter and considered a motion to authorize a public notice of the supervisor's intent to fill the pending vacancy by appointment. Public notice will go out later this week, and to comply with state requirements on vacancy appointments, the supervisors will meet on Tuesday instead of Monday to finalize the appointment. U.S. Senators Joni Ernst and Chuck Grassley will host 2 virtual information sessions next week for Iowa students who are interested in applying to the nation's military service academies. The online events are scheduled from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday, August 31st, and on Tuesday, September 1st. Representatives from the Air Force Academy, Coast Guard Academy, and U.S. Military Academy at West Point will participate in the August 31st session. Representatives from the Naval Academy and Merchant Marine Academy will join the September 1st session. The events are geared toward high school freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, as well as parents, guardians, and guidance counselors. Academy nomination coordinators from both senators' offices will answer questions about admissions and the congressional nomination process. Each year, Ernst and Grassley each nominate up to 15 Iowa students annually for academy appointments. Applicants seeking admission for the academic year beginning in fall 2027 must submit nomination applications by October 23rd. Those wishing to attend must RSVP to receive a meeting link using the contact points included with this story on our website. We're going to step away for just a moment, but we will continue your evening news after this.
Discover the next generation of better hearing with the new Starkey Omega AI hearing aids. Hi, this is Dr. Sandra, audiologist and owner of Adaptive Audiology Solutions. Designed with advanced artificial intelligence, the Starkey Omega AI helps you hear conversations more clearly, even in noisy restaurants, family gatherings, and busy public spaces. By automatically adapting to your surroundings, Omega AI makes it easier to stay connected to the people and moments that matter most. Visit us today to experience how Starkey Omega AI can transform the way that you hear the world. Located at 408 West 8th Street in Carroll or at Crawford County Memorial Hospital in Denison.
Welcome back from the break. Miles Brewer here with you on KCIM, 1380 AM, 95.1 FM, and Western Iowa's information leader, continuing your evening news for this Monday, August 24th. The local American Legion Post and their affiliate groups presented a nearly $12,000 check to the American Legion riders on Sunday as they passed through Carroll on the 2026 Legacy Run. The annual Veterans Ride is now in its 20th year. For its first 15 years, the ride raised money for scholarships for veterans' children, but organizers shifted the focus 5 years ago to the Veterans and Children's Foundation after the Legacy Fund became self-sufficient. The foundation supports active duty soldiers, veterans, and their families in crisis, from utility bills to larger medical expenses. District 8 American Legion Commander Ruth Trecker, a U.S. Navy veteran out of the Coon Rapids post, says it was rewarding to see the hundreds of motorcycles come through town so smoothly, considering how much work went into the preparations.
Because they have to arrange ahead of time for all the gas stops and food stops and make sure that the gas stations have enough of the right gas for 200 to 300 motorcycles, and they have to have overnight stops.
Trecker says they had initially hoped to present a healthy donation, and by the time the main body of the Legacy Run reached Carroll, their total had reached $11,753.63.
The goal for the area was $5,000, so we've more than doubled our goal, which is awesome. Iowa in general is a very generous state. Per capita, Iowa raises much more funds than the rest of the country does for the Legacy Run.
American Legion Riders National Chairman David Heredia Jr. accepted the check on behalf of the organization. He says he and his fellow riders were impressed by the community's welcome as they made their way through town, escorted by the Iowa State Patrol, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Carroll Fire Department, and Carroll Police Department.
The American Legion Riders is young. We've only been around as a national program for 33 years. And this is our 20th year doing the American Legion Legacy Run. So we're celebrating our 20th year. But what better way to do it as we've done this year? This is America's 250. We're celebrating America's 250th anniversary as a nation. I will tell you, coming into Carroll was an amazing reception.
The riders fueled at the Sparky's One Stop on the east side of Carroll and presented a certificate to the Tiefenthalers, the station's owners, for their support of the American Legion Riders. The rolling procession departed after about an hour and spent the night in Ames. The 2026 Legacy Run began August 23rd in Lincoln, Nebraska, and travels through Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri before ending into Kentucky on August 27th for the American Legion National Convention. Democrat John Norwood says if he's elected treasurer, he'll ensure more of the taxes Iowans pay the state are kept circulating inside the state's borders.
We send $2.5 billion of our short-term taxpayer dollars out of state chasing a return, instead of keeping that money with our local banks and credit unions to help support growth in the economy.
Norwood says depositing that money in Iowa banks means bankers can make loans against that $2.5 billion. Norwood is the founder of a firm that provides financial and management advice to small businesses. He says the state treasurer should be more engaged in accountability in the long-term value of state investments, including how the Iowa Public Employees Retirement System, or IPERS, is managed. The state treasurer is a member of the board that oversees IPERS.
The treasurer serves as Iowa's state banker, a chief pension fiduciary, and what I like to call Iowa's chief financial officer for the people.
Norwood says the lowest cost bid for state-funded construction projects sometimes produces shoddy work that has to be repaired at additional cost.
So the lowest upfront price isn't always the lowest long-term cost. When taxpayers invest tens of millions of dollars in schools, roads, bridges, water systems, and public buildings, we should build them right the first time using skilled union labor.
Norwood made his comments at the state fair during a speech on the Des Moines Register's political soapbox, Governor Chet Culver, a Democrat, required state agencies to consider project labor agreements for public work projects. But when Republican Governor Terry Branstad, Culver's successor, took office, he immediately issued an executive order to ban state funds for any project with an agreement to exclusively use union labor. Norwood is now running against Robbie Smith, the Republican who is running for a second term as state treasurer.